WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You're listening to Ari, and with me is Christal, and we are Activated Mornings this morning. You know, Christal, I just had the press release and it just went.
Just had the what?
There's a press release regarding the hotel opening next month, the Holiday Inn.
And you lost it.
It was just right there in my hand, and I don't know where it went.
I can't ground it must have dropped from your hand.
Found it. The 93-year-old Holiday Inn will open next month. The hotel, which is being built by Trinidadian company NH Construction, is progressing apace along with the Cobblestone Inn. It will be the government's second state-owned hotel. Senior project manager Michael Phillips, who has been with NH Construction for over 20 years, told the Agency of Public Information, API, that the project is on schedule for its projected completion date. Phillips said that the construction of the building caters to the disabled persons and is climate resilient, built to withstand destructive powers of very high winds and high-speed debris associated with hurricanes. The project at present employs over 150 people, 100 of whom are Vincentians. You know, and I think you need a building like that is in that area where it's very windy. It is very windy in that Diamonds area. And
Diamond.
Sorry, Diamond. Thank you very much. I always get confused with the two. Unfortunately, we have to report again that the mechanic died, as we heard in Traffic Talk this morning, in Rhodes Hall when a vehicle was driving overturned in the North Leeward community about 1 a.m. The dead man has been identified as Kellan Stapleton, aka Screech. Stapleton's passenger, a male, was also injured in the incident, which occurred in the Belmont area of the community. The passenger was taken to the hospital, but it was unclear about his status at the time. Stapleton is the second driver to die after crashing in North Leeward this year. My condolences to the Stapleton family. Lord alone knows what you would be going through, losing family member, a friend, to an accident such as this.
Yeah, that's really sad. Really, really sad. Boy, you know what they say? You go away and you don't know if you're coming back.
Right? You gotta really life is fickle, and you really have to take your time and enjoy life, and just be safe in general. Just be careful on the road, especially those roads on Leeward scare me, you know. I do not in any way, shape, or form feel comfortable driving down the Leeward coast. And some people were used to it, they're fine, but nah, not me, boy.
It takes a lot of focus.
Yeah, it does.
I've heard people say, like, if you're not familiar with the Leeward Road, don't drive in the night.
They're right.
Like,
they are 100% right. They're 100% right.
But you just have to you literally have to take your time. I find there are some roads in St. Vincent that it just look like if you go off by a centimeter, you're gonna end up in somebody's house. And sometimes people just literally standing and socializing at the end, like in the road. It's crazy.
Yeah. But Krista, you are right. Police did respond to a report and met Clinton Hackshaw of South Rivers lying in the road leading to Byra with multiple gunshot injuries to his back and not a slash throat as previously recorded. His death brings to 10 the number of people killed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines this year. Yeah, his body was found 2 days after the body of Kimisha Haynes, 17-year-old of Murray Village, was found over an embankment in Belmont. Listen, we need to put St. Vincent and the Grenadines in rice. So that's so you see this Easter holiday coming up, we need to just put it in rice for this holiday because
this is not a Holy Week. It's a Holy Week.
Exactly.
It feels more like a purge, if you ask me. more like a purging.
Absolute nonsense.
But hopefully within the next couple, I don't know how long, but we'll have a break. We need a break. It's been too much. Uh, over and over. I always wondered, right?
Hmm.
How do police and like investigators do this when their job is to like investigate homicides, and then you go on the scene, and sometimes the state of the bodies just like, ugh, like listening to it on the other end would just irk you, but they have to like see and do the investigations and talk to people and travel here there. How do they take care of themselves mentally? Or like, is it after like two or three cases they just become immune to it?
I can tell you, it becomes normal as a journalist when you're reporting crimes and murder and these things. It's like, okay, you become desensitized to it, unfortunately.
That's sad. In the beginning, I used to feel I never wanted to see. So I used to have to like brace myself, because obviously you will get to see certain photos and videos
Mm-hmm.
because of the nature of the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um I used to have to like mentally prepare myself. Uh but now it's like, I'm
Yeah,
not saying this to like disregard or disrespect life, but I no longer have to be prepared in advance to see things, and I could sleep okay at night now because you've seen it so many times, right? So maybe that is the same process with them.
but speaking on something that's hard to stomach, a man 34 years old was jailed for attempting to bugger an 11-year-old girl. So the 34-year-old man from Glen who attempted to bugger an 18-year-old girl in December 2020 has been sentenced to 3 years and 8 months in prison. Not enough. But man Delano Batiste faced a maximum of 10 years in prison. Seven San Grenadines buggery, including buggery among consenting adults, is considered an act of gross indecency. At the same time, non-consensual buggery is not regarded as rape, which carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment, as is the case with attempted rape. Batiste had initially pleaded not guilty when he was arraigned on February 28th, a hearing during which he did not have a lawyer. The court-appointed lawyer Carl Williams in cross-examining the virtual complainant. However, after Batiste consulted with the lawyer, he changed his plea to guilty on March 1st. Williams also decided to represent Batiste during the sentencing hearing. High Court Judge Justice Richard Floyd handed down his sentence in Kingston on Tuesday. According to the facts presented by the court, the child reported the attempted assault to her mother, who informed the police. And when the child mother confronted the defendant, he initially denied the allegation, but then admitted that he had placed his area in the area of the child's rear.
Well, Father God, look at that. I know that fella.
Really?
Same community. Same community. But I my interactions with him, I think the latter part of the story speaks to it. Um I'm trying to find the words to describe it. Trying to find the words.
Mm.
But the story also makes mention of him alluding to him being an alcoholic. And it says that people thought or believed. Sorry, a message I just saw there. People thought or believed that he might have been intoxicated because his responses at the end um were different to the beginning of the trial. But nasty is nasty. So
Listen, there's a conversation that we need to have here at Activated Mornings because, as you said, the latter part of the story went on to disclose that he might have been traumatized, he abuses alcohol, and all these different things. There are currently situations that I'm aware of where children, secondary school and younger, are assaulted by their siblings, are assaulted by older persons, and then when they When these things happen, they then try it out on their schoolmates. I know of situations where there are teenagers involved, both heterosexual and homosexual, involved because of trauma they experienced before in the childhood. And it's something that we definitely need to visit because these things manifest over time. And then we see situations like these coming forward, and then people are going to ask, were they not signs? That's always the question that's asked. Were they not signs? But we need to nip some of these things in the bud, figuratively speaking. The story also went on, well, in a separate story. The victim, who is now 14 years old, says she understands why victims hesitate to come forward. I'm going to read the short insert. The 14-year-old, who a man attempted to bugger when she was 11 years old, says now she understands why some victims of crime do not speak out. The child's comments were captured in the victim impact statement cited by the High Court on Tuesday as her assailant, Delano Batiste, 34, was sentenced for the offense. Batiste, who faced a maximum of 10 years in prison, was sentenced to 3 years and 8 months for his crime. The child reported the assault to her mother, who informed the police, resulting in Batiste being charged. In handing down his sentence, Justice Richard Floyd said that the child said that she has never received counseling since she was assaulted. And we know why, Christal.
Why is because the system? Why is yeah, man,
Oh,
I'm listening.
sorry.
Why she didn't receive no counseling since the assault?
Who's there to counsel her?
There are different places that you can go. Who's
Mm-hmm.
where? Who's where?
Government appointed counselors and psychiatrists for these.
Which psychiatrist?
Hmm?
Which psychiatrist?
Exactly the point.
No, but okay. So outside of government,
Mm-hmm.
can you take the initiative to get it done somewhere else?
If
There's
it is,
Marion
right?
House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I know what you're going to say, but if it is that this was reported to the relative authorities, this is now in court. We do not know the financial situation of the parent. We don't know if the parent can afford or what exactly might have hindered. We don't even know if the parent just didn't know. Why is it
Right.
that the parent now has to take the initiative in a situation that was brought to the police's attention and the court's attention?
Right. So I understand that. And that is something that they have to deal with, right? In these cases, I believe that it's because I've heard of stories where the children would get counseling, right? But
Mm-hmm.
in this particular case where something obviously went wrong, do you sit down and wait, or do you seek alternative sources of what is necessary for your child's healing and development? Not everything has to be paid for. Counseling is not okay. So there are therapists, you have to pay by
Mm-hmm.
the hour.
Mm-hmm.
Some will charge, but there are other persons, I'm pretty sure within the community or further afield, that would do it for free or that have been doing it for free. There are priests, right?
But
The school has counselors as well.
remember, this is if they're alerted of the situation, because not everyone feels comfortable sharing these things with their neighbors or their friends for various reasons. And again, we do not know the financial situation of the family, we don't know if they simply don't have the information.
If you don't have the information, then you seek. But all
Yeah,
in
but
all, when you're in this situation, it's totally different.
exactly,
On the
exactly,
outside, it's easier to say
exactly,
XYZ on the outside, right? Than when you're actually in it. Because even though you
exactly.
might know, your emotions might hold you back. Even though you may not know, your emotions might still hold you back from thinking, okay, um, this is what I need to do XYZ, because you are so caught up within the whirlwind of the emotions. But you notice that in what I said, I did not mention neighbor or friends.
Well, you said
I
in the
mentioned
community, so is your
right.
neighbor
When
not
I say
getting information?
community, as in there might be a church within the community, there might be an NGO based within the community that can offer, that might have people like subcontracted or working with them to offer counseling to traumatized teens, children, whichever age. There might be a church within the community that has a priest who also acts as a counselor that can
Mm.
assist.
But these are
And
all,
I'm not talking about people who don't have the qualifications to do it.
yeah, but outside of that, these are all assumptions that the people are comfortable taking it to these people because you know here in Simmons and the Grenadines, confidentiality is an issue. You might tell something to somebody in confidence, regardless of the post they hold, and then it becomes an entire thing. There's a reason why the girl's name isn't mentioned in this story to protect her. So we do not know exactly what is the situation, who is informed of the situation outside of the police and the court. We honestly don't know. So we don't know who they feel comfortable sharing certain things with, who they feel comfortable reaching out to. And again, we're speaking from outside of the situation, and we have to admit that there are a lot of persons that are not educated on these matters. So the parent might think they don't know, they have no other way to deal with the situation. They don't know who they can reach out to. They're afraid to share it with people. These situations happen.
Hmm. Um, to add to that, right? The To make these sessions as successful as possible. And this will include those persons who are contracted, who are working for the government to offer counseling to,
I was just
um,
about to read a comment someone said on WhatsApp related to that.
what was that? Really common, really
Someone
common.
says, no, she was 14, not an adult. Therefore, it is the responsibility of child services. They are failed in their responsibility.
Right. So we address that one first, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I don't forget my point. It's 8 to 1, by the way.
Yeah, well, let me finish this story quickly. The child reported the assault to her mother, who informed the police, resulting in Batiste being charged. In handing down a sentence, said that the Justice Richard Floyd said that the child said that she has never received counseling since she was assaulted. However, she no longer lives in the area where the assault took place and is therefore quite happy about this. The report quoted the victim as saying that while what Batiste did was wrong, she has forgiven him. The social worker who prepared the report said that the victim's ability to forgive her assistant assault, gosh, now I forget the new word, assailant, sorry. Forgive her assailant, despite the harm he has caused her, reflects a maturity and understanding that she believes her years did not diminish the need for justice. The victim impact statement indicates that the victim does not like to discuss what happened because it is upsetting, the judge quoted in the report as saying. The victim feels that the stigma attached to her is unfair. Justice Floyd said that the court is troubled to note that the young victim stated that she now understands why people who are victims of crimes may hesitate to come forward. The court is disappointed that rather than being supported and encouraged, the victim is adrift. It illustrates the enormous impact that crimes of sexual violence can have upon the victims and their families.
Right. So, um, she's very smart. She's an intelligent young lady. I could tell, like, based on her responses in court. Well, from
Mm-hmm.
what's being reported, she's intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she is very correct. And we have said this even without being in the shoes. We have said this many times. The victim blaming and shaming and the ridicule and the judgment and the pointing fingers would hold back people from reporting crimes of rape and sexual assaults. That's why so many men are able to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Two more points quickly because I know we have to go. One, where the government or the ministry or the system has failed a person, I don't think that, well, I don't know. For me, you give them the blasting, you highlight it, you make people aware of it. But at the same time, I'm still going to go around that and make sure that my child or I get what I need for me to recover. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
can't kill the two birds with one stone, right? You deal with the discrepancies and the inefficiencies, and you still make sure that you get what you need despite the falling short of the system. That's one. The second one I can't remember anymore.
All right. Well, the
I lost
time
my train
is
of thought there.
yeah, that's fine. We when it comes back, you'll mention it. The time is
Maybe
8:05
not.
in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and your time check was brought to you by New Haven Funeral Home.
Death is a fact of life.